So welcome back to our next episode of The Funny Please, where you have the right to remain laughing. In each episode, we discuss hot button issues, politics, news, and decide whether or not it's funny. My name is Ashley Ryan, your host, and this is also the host.
Hello, my name is Ethan Filler, and I was one of Oprah's favorite things.
I am a comedian. I'm known for Below Deck and Tosh.0. Need to update those. What are you known for?
I'm not known for anything. Hopefully this podcast, we'll see.
All right, let's put that in the books. Our first segment, or I should say our only segment for this episode, is called Solitary Comic Finement.
And just to clarify for the viewers at home, every pun or wordplay you see is the work of Ashley Ryan. I do not condone them.
You actually did that one.
It was a collaboration.
It's the funny please, so it has to relate back to please.
Yes.
So, Solitary Comic Finement is about us reviewing other stand-up comedians and deciding whether or not they are funny. So, let's review someone with a lot more followers than us.
You may have seen his cheekbones flashing across your TikTok.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about Matt Rife. Who just came out with his
Netflix special.
Yeah, Netflix special. What was it called?
It's called Natural Selection.
And we're going to talk about that today. First of all, Matt Rife has been doing comedy for 11 years. He looks really young because he is just 28 years old. But yeah, doing comedy 11 years is great. That is pretty much on par with how long it takes to get a special on Netflix. And so a lot of people think he did it really fast and just got famous overnight. No, there's literally videos of him at the Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
Baby face teenager with fucked up teeth, gaps. He looks completely different, which we'll talk about that a little too.
Puberty was real good to him. Puberty was the name of his doctor. I think that he's been doing it for 11 years and it does not show. I don't care for him much, but we'll get into if he's funny, what his controversies are, why people are mad, and just our thoughts on Matthew Rife, the soup du jour.
But first, we are news reporters, and so I have a disclaimer, legal disclaimer. I do know Matt Rife. I've interviewed him for TV shows before.
Mm-hmm. I don't know Matt Rife,
He
so I don't
texted me
care.
this year.
Oh, he texted you this year?
Well, it's because I texted him first.
Okay.
To ask if he wanted to be on a TV show, and he doesn't want to do that anymore.
So fuck Matt Rife.
Yeah. And we might have reason for that. Because I just learned about a Zendaya incident. Wait, you tell us about it.
So essentially, before he really took off on TikTok with his crowd work clips, he was on a television series on MTV called Wild 'N Out, which is a rap-based sort of comedy entertainment show, and they had a game where the special guest, which was, of course, Zendaya, had a mouthful of water, and they were trying to make her do a spit take by making her laugh. And Matthew Rife, who, of course, was unable to make her laugh as he wasn't able to make me laugh. So after making a pretty mediocre black joke...
What do you say? He said,
the black
I
joke
want to
was
I want to be black,
yeah,
and you are black. Let's make babies.
Listen, baby, you're mixed. I want to be black. Let's make this work. Which is, his whole shtick.
And then he goes up and grabs her face.
Grabs her like this.
Laugh.
I'm gonna this is a dramatic reenactment for the camera. This is gonna be fine. This is what imagine you have a mouthful of water. He was like, "Come on, what do I gotta do?" Not cool. What just happened? Did I get foundation on my hand? No, you're fine. It's all good. It's all good. That's not cool. But also it's not like a Weinstein thing. But I think the main takeaway from that video isn't just the fact that he touched someone without their consent. It's that he was sensitive about the fact that he couldn't make someone laugh.
Yeah, I think he was upset about it and didn't know what to do, and he really wanted to win. And it was something in the moment he did, but it got a lot of backlash. It got immediate backlash by all the men on the show who started to approach him.
People got out of their seats.
Yeah, obviously with the audience and Zendaya's reaction to her being touched was not very
That's something that's resurfaced once again after his special came out. But essentially, Matt Rife, to give a background, after he was on that TV show and he did a couple other things, I think he was in some scripted stuff as well, he really popped off on TikTok by doing crowd work clips, which if you're not a comedian or you don't follow comedy, hi, welcome to our world. But Crowd work is essentially the things comics do in between written jokes, where they ask someone, where do you work? Or they're like, hey, your shirt's weird. Let's talk about it. It is a skill. It is a talent. That being said, I would describe Matt Rife's crowd work as essentially a striptease for middle-aged women. There's a lot. He does like a thing with his belt where he undoes it with one hand. He's like, that's crazy. If you want to be a male stripper, I encourage you to. That's amazing. You do you. But I wouldn't categorize that as pushing the envelope comedy. I'll just say that.
I don't know. I think Matt Rife is kind of genius. His work is kind of case study for how he got his Netflix special, because when I started out in comedy in 2018, I took a couple comedy school classes, and they said, do not post your material that you do on your social media. And what Matt Rife did is he did a lot of crowd work, which is the only thing we saw before his special. So when I went and saw his special, it was actually my first time seeing his real stand-up comedy. All the men hated it. They're like, he's not a good comedian. His jokes aren't on par. But if you ask women, they're just staring at him the whole time.
Well, here's the thing when it comes to men and women, and this is a really integral part of the Matt Rife storyline, especially surrounding special. So he built up his TikTok following specifically with women because they found him attractive, which I guess use what you got, do whatever you can to make it. Kudos to you. That being said, when he used his largely female fan base to get a Netflix special, he almost immediately said, well, now that I have a TV special, I'm going to try to appeal to the men, because those are who you really want to appeal to in comedy. I think it shows a lack of respect for women, because you're saying they're not valuable as an audience base, and to make it, you have to try to appeal to men, which for me, I think you should try to appeal to everybody as a comedian.
I don't think that's the case. So in stand-up comedy,
he went on.
It's mostly men.
It is mostly men.
And so I think he was in his little world of comedy revolves around men and always being around men. Because when I interviewed him one time, he was living in a frat house basically.
Yeah.
Showed up a little hungover to the interview. I'm like, Matt, where's your lighting? You've done these thousands of times. But I think he just never thought to think, who is my audience? It should be quite obvious. It's obvious to everyone else.
Well,
but I think that's where he went wrong with his special, is he didn't tailor to his audience.
Yes.
He was trying too hardly to impress men. Obviously, they weren't. The men are going to criticize him a lot more than they would an average male comedian because he's good looking. They don't want him to succeed.
Also, his jokes are not up to par. The whole thing is he was essentially, I would say, especially with the way he ended the special with the mic drop, was essentially trying to prove that he can do material and it's not just crowd work. He proved that he can do material on the level of an average open micer, which is fine. It's not Netflix special worthy though. He ended the special by doing a mic drop and saying, yeah, but I guess I only do crowd work, right? Mic drop. And it was like, well, you just proved everyone's point by having subpar material.
Well, I also think that was his mistake with the show, because he's so good at doing crowd work. And during the credits, they played him doing crowd work after they filmed it, and it was so much better. I'm like, why couldn't we see that the entire time? And I understand in a big theater like that, you can't really do it because they're so far away. But
well, there are people who have filmed crowd work only specials. There are comics who have, and it's honestly, kudos to you if you want to do that. But it's like saying I can cook a 5-star meal and then serving a Kraft grilled cheese.
Yeah. I don't know. I think for his next special, they should do a smaller venue where he can do crowd work, and he should tape for 4 different days, all in the same outfit. By the way, most specials by comedians, they're not taped all in one day.
No, they do it over 3 shows usually.
Yeah, because they don't want the comedians to get tired or forget their lines, which we often do.
And they can also edit the best jokes from each one together, which is smart. But for me personally, if I never saw Matt Rife on TV or my phone again, I'd be fine with that. Sorry, Matt. I don't care for your comedy. I think...
Do you find him attractive, though?
I don't think he's attractive at all. I think he looks like a fucking lesbian. I'm not really into guys with filler. That being said, he doesn't deserve any of the success he's had. I don't think he's that funny.
Going back to Matt's looks, I appreciate any comic that shows up with muscles. You know, not everything you say is going to be funny, and so I like to have something to look at. And I feel like it's been a trend.
Matt Rife is a human screensaver.
There's so many men in comedy in the past that just have not been ideal looking, and so I think it's bringing more women to watch comedy because of people like Matt.
There is kind of a thing where I think historically, men come to comedy shows in like a Batman t-shirt and like a plaid shirt with like a mustard stain on it. And like women would come in like the black cocktail dress with like flat ironed hair.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, maybe men should
they want to hook up with the comics, and there's a term for that. What is it called?
Chuckle fucker.
Yeah, it's a thing, and all comedians know about it because it's definitely true.
I've yet to experience
Wait,
it.
have you hooked up with another comedian?
Yeah,
that you've met doing comedy. Yeah. Okay.
Comedy incest, if you will.
I mean, there is something really attractive like about other comedians, like because you'll be at the same open mics,
the confidence maybe,
and you'll grow with them over time, and like you'll know their jokes better than them, to the point where you're like, hey, you fucked up on that joke when you said it this time, and they're like, oh, I didn't even realize. How did you know? I'm like, because I've seen you do it 20 times, but you get this like bond with them because you see them do it at the open mics and mess up, and then you see them do it on stage in front of people, and so it's kind of like a respect that you earn, and it's attractive to see that sometimes. But going back to Matt Rife's looks, a lot of people are concerned about and debating whether or not he's had plastic surgery. I'm someone who's had a lot of plastic surgery, but I have 3 pictures here of Matt Rife in different stages.
He looks like a Pokemon evolution.
Yeah, I mean, the first picture is him. Maybe he looks about like 14 to 16. He's on stage somewhere. He has...
My mom calls them summer teeth.
Summer teeth?
Summer here, summer there.
Oh, summer teeth. Okay. He was still good looking back then. A lot more. He looked like Justin Bieber, let's be honest.
Backwoods Justin Bieber.
He grew up. He became more of a man. He got his teeth fixed. He looks like he has veneers. Obviously does not have Botox there. The next picture is him now.
He's juved up.
Yeah, he does not have any lines in his face. He definitely got some filler under his eyes, maybe some cheek filler, and he did some filler with his jawline as well. And it looks like he may have had some Botox on his forehead, not too much though, because his eyebrows are not raised. But I think he did stuff that a lot of men in Hollywood have been doing for some time.
Yeah.
But it just seems really apparent on him because he is so young, and he already did have kind of a baby face to begin with. But there's no hate for that.
I personally,
do what makes you happy.
I don't have anything against men having plastic surgery, particularly. And he makes some jokes about, like, you know, like, it's hard being hot, and it's like, well, you paid for it, so.
I did work for Joan Rivers on The Fashion Police.
Has Joan Rivers ever had plastic surgery?
Oh my God, she's had, like, I would take pictures with her when I was like the intern for The Fashion Police. I would have bags under my eyes. We'd be filming at like 4 a.m. and she wouldn't have any bags under her eyes.
She doesn't have any under eye. It's just her chin.
But Joan never lied about it. She made plastic surgery jokes all the time about herself.
All the time.
So
she wrote a book about it.
Oh, yeah?
She wrote a book about, exclusively a very funny book, about plastic surgery, about all the ones she's had, about, you know, what you want to do if you want to get a plastic surgery. Very open and honest.
So when I was the intern for The Fashion Police, I didn't know who Joan Rivers was. I had signed up for the Chelsea Handler show because I was a huge fan. And then they just threw me with Joan, and I didn't realize how much better that opportunity was because Joan was an icon.
She's a legend. She's an icon. Chelsea Handler is great, but Joan Rivers was.
Chelsea never hosted the Tonight Show and then get fired from it. And Joan got fired because she didn't hold back anything, which is the classic. Well, that just means you're a real-ass comedian.
Joan Rivers...
Most real comedians would get fired
Joan Rivers was the first woman to host a late-night show. It was on Fox. She also used to guest host, obviously, for Johnny Carson, but she had her own show on Fox. Trailblazer, incredible. I'm not even going to say she opened the doors, because she always hated when people said that. Because
no, she definitely did. The first woman to ever host a late night
show. She did.
Yeah.
But Joan Rivers always hated when people said that because they would say it when she was alive. And she was like, I'm not holding open the door. I'm fucking going right now. But she never lied about her plastic surgery.
Yeah. No, but what I was saying before is I didn't know who she was. And then one day on set, we had her birthday. And I'm like, how old is Joan Rivers? And they said 80. And my mind was blown.
Yeah.
I was like, first of all, like thinking to my grandparents, like how old they were and what they were doing at that time.
Yeah.
I'm like, they are not on set at...
No.
She'd be the first one there at 3 a.m.
She performed the night before she died. She was on stage the night before she died. She never quit. Anyways, that was a long tangent about Joan Rivers, but she is fantastic.
All right, what else do we have to talk about? Oh yeah, so Matt Rife has been getting some controversy. My favorite part of his special was actually the Down syndrome part because...
I wasn't offended at that.
No.
I just didn't think it was...
Well, he's done Down syndrome live audience stuff in the past, which has been really funny, I thought. And then again in this special, some of his material was about this autistic boy that he went to high school with who happened to have a very large appendage. And
he had a really big thumb.
Yeah. But they had a nickname for him. He said, we used to say he had Dick You Down syndrome. Yeah. Oh yeah, he said, we know where that extra chromosome went. Which I thought was really funny. And then he goes into...
It's funny enough.
How all the boys were intimidated by the autistic kid who had a way bigger penis than them.
Yeah. I didn't find the joke offensive or anything. He also he had another line about, he had to wear a helmet to protect himself from that thing. And then when people got mad at him over the special, he, on his Instagram story, posted a link that said, if anyone was offended, here's a link to my official apology. And it linked back to a store for special needs helmets. Which, okay. Matt Rife reads to me as if a 12-year-old, like a 6th grader, wished to be an adult comedian, and then, it happened one day. He has the sensibility, just the mannerisms and sensibility of truly, a 6th grader, and also the sense of humor. If you asked a heterosexual 12-year-old boy to write a comedy special, I think it would be pretty close to this. Mm-hmm. What are your opinions on... He's also gotten a little bit of pushback over the years for being a extremely Caucasian man who has a relatively black voice. He has a bit of a black accent. And he's like, it's just from where I'm from. And people are like...
Where is he from?
So. We can look it up. He's from Columbus, Ohio.
Okay, I've never been there. Not sure.
I haven't been there, but I don't think white people talk like that in Columbus, Ohio. I think... Like every other guy. Are there a lot of
black people there?
I'm sure, but he's not one of them. I don't think he should be canceled or anything like that, but that's not his real voice.
I think I understand though, because I grew up in Texas and Dallas, and for whatever reason, white guys trying to sound black was a thing. Back in the day, we would listen to all these crazy rap songs and stuff, like Soulja Boy.
Yeah.
Stuff that white boys shouldn't even be listening to generally.
In the 90s to 2000s, there was absolutely a boom of white people getting into black culture.
And I think a lot of people still are attached to that. Yeah. Well, he said it to Zendaya, I want to be black. So we know where
he's aware.
He's aware.
Do you want to talk about the Audi vagina thing?
Oh, yeah. So Matt Rife's girlfriend did an interview recently where she felt body shamed by him.
It was on a podcast.
Podcast.
I saw it.
He talks about how he hates...
Audi.
Yeah.
Vaginas.
Disgust by Audi vaginas.
Having a visible labia.
Which I've never really... I don't know what that looks like. Yeah. Haven't looked at a lot of those.
Actually, you do have an Audi vagina.
Yeah, I do. I do, actually. Yeah,
yes.
So maybe I do.
Yeah.
Maybe Matt Rife should talk about me. But I guess he hates it, so he hates trans people. Okay.
He hates trans people.
But his girlfriend was offended because she thought he was talking about him because hers is definitely an Audi. And she felt hurt and repulsed by it.
Which, the fact that you decided to say this after the special came out, it's oh, you wanted attention.
No one knew he was talking about her. Let's be real.
No one cares.
First of all, you outed yourself. Just told us, so now we all know who he's talking about.
Now all of America knows what your pussy looks like, so thank you.
Yeah. So he body shamed her secretly, but not actually publicly, and she made it public.
Subtly shaded, but also, I think in general, it's a little lame to say that about women's bodies, but it's on brand. He's a douche. His whole persona is douche.
I mean, I think that would just be comments for him to stay away from, since his fan base, I've seen memes like, oh my god, like his 5 million followers, they're all women. Like, or he now has, since the special came out, he has 6.4. He's like getting even more now.
Yeah.
But also before his special on Netflix, he hosted his own online special called OnlyFans. And then that same year, he hosted the AVN Awards. I believe that's
the adult video.
Yeah, the porn awards. So yeah, that's kind of interesting, hosting
Yeah.
the porn awards and to getting a Netflix special in like
Yeah.
a year's time.
Yeah.
Wow, I guess we know our next step.
Yeah. We need to start doing sexy crowd work.
OnlyFan awards.
OnlyFans.
I don't know.
Yeah, we need to do the Cum Dump Award on BET. I don't know. We have to ask.
Do you
funny or
follow
not
him on
funny.
Instagram?
No.
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 I don't care for him.
Okay.
I don't know if that's come across. Sorry, sometimes I'm very subtle. I don't like him.
So now we've come down to the time where we decide whether Matt Rife is funny or not funny. What do you think, Ethan?
Shocking everybody. I'm going to say not funny. For me and for humanity.
I'm gonna say Matt Rife is funny, but only if he's doing crowd work. I would love to see his next special focus on that because I just wasn't blown away by his material. So let's be real. And I love watching his Instagram. So I don't know, I feel like in the world of social media, you can post a video and because you're good looking, people are
People
gonna
will click
watch
on
the
it.
whole thing and wait for it to get funny. But it doesn't matter because they end up watching the whole thing. So the algorithm, and then everyone ends up watching the whole thing, and then it just turns into this thing. So I think it's really smart what he does, and we're all gonna see more because he's filming his next Netflix special.
In this very room.
No, he is filming at the Netflix is a Joke Festival 2024 in Los Angeles.
Are we promoting his tour for him?
He should pay us, and we
Yes.
will.
Yes.
Or for the work we've done.
This ringing endorsement from me.
Well, leave in the comments what you think if Matt Rife is funny or not.
Do you think Matt Rife is funny or not? Do you think he's hot or not? You know, did he ever like stab your uncle or something? Any hot leads on a blind item? Let us know. Put it in the comments.
Yeah, and if you are Matt Rife, don't touch Ethan's face. You can touch mine though if you want. So now, if you would love to follow us, please give me a follow, Ashley Ryan TV on everything. And Ethan's social media is
eFiller13 or eFiller13 on Instagram. And I believe on TikTok, but just find it through my Instagram. Come on, follow me. Come on.
Well, that's our podcast today. Thank you so much for watching.